and follow us on social media.
Charlotte St. Martin is president of a great organization called the Broadway League. You're involved in Tony Awards?
We are. We co-present them.
And the other one is the
American Theater Wing.
Yeah. What's the Jimmy Awards?
The Jimmy Awards is our newest program. It's like the Tonys for teens. 100,000 kids compete from 1,700 schools in 46 regions to send a young man, young woman to New York to train with choreographers and actors, coaches, to win scholarships and to perform live on a Broadway stage.
That's awesome. You know, I just heard about the Jimmy Awards, and in fact, we have a clip of the Jimmy Awards right here. That was from the prom?
That was from the Jimmy Awards.
And that was from the show, The Prom?
Oh, yes.
Okay,
so sorry. Yes.
That was the Jimmy Awards.
Yes.
What kind of audience for that?
Well, it's like a real-life Glee. These kids grow up and they become our Broadway stars. The winners from 2 years ago are actually performing in lead roles on Broadway right now. Andrew Feldman is the lead in Dear Evan Hansen. He's Evan Hansen.
That's
and
right.
Renee Rapp is in Mean Girls with a lead role.
Wow.
And Eva Noblosato from 5 years ago is the lead in the Tony Award-winning Hadestown. These are the best of the teens in our country, and it's great to see them just coalesce around Broadway, which is so important to New York City.
How'd you get into the arts?
It was a passion from day one. I've the luckiest person in the world. I got to take my avocation and make it my vocation. And I work every day to make Broadway more accessible for everyone.
Where'd you grow up?
Grew up in Texas, Dallas.
You a Cowboys fan?
Of course I was.
Just checking. Our president, Neil Shapiro, big Cowboys fan. We will not talk about where they are in the season. We don't want to.
They're not doing that.
Just leave it alone. We'll talk Broadway, not football.
Good.
Okay? How about that? I'm a Giants fan. What am I going to say?
Well, I love the Giants. Tom Landry.
Oh,
was
seriously?
Our coach. Yes.
The Giants and that's confusing, but let's go back to Broadway.
Okay.
This organization, your organization, made up of whom?
Our organization is made up of the producers of Broadway shows,
Okay.
the presenters of Broadway shows who take them from New York to the 160 cities where there are Broadway series, 200 venues, the theater owners in New York and around the country, and the people who manage the shows. So we are the commercial trade association that keeps commercial theater happy, healthy, and successful.
Do you have a foundation?
We do. And the foundation actually presents the Jimmy Awards and our other audience engagement and educational programs.
You know, we've had so many wonderful, talented, and generous performers from Broadway right here, sitting in that seat today and every day. Georgette, our producer in my ear, has this great connection to the arts world and Broadway, and we've had these folks in. And they come from all over. But the one common theme, other than a lot of talent, is this incredible passion for theater. Are people just born with it? Or they just step into, like...
I think they are. I think there is, and I think there's something even about theater people that's a little bit different than the rest of the entertainment world. Theater people. They are a true community. I mean, they're hardworking. They work. You know, they perform 8 shows a week. I don't know how they do it, but they do. And if I ask them to do something for one of our programs for kids, whether it's the Jimmys or Broadway Bridges or Family First Nights, they're the first people to stand up and go, yes.
They just jump in.
Yeah, they do, because they know how important it is. As Neil Patrick Harris said on the Tony Awards one year, I was that kid. And you grow up, they have this passion, and they stick with it as long as they can.
And by the way, who's in our coming in from Modern Family? Is it Jesse? Jesse Tyler Ferguson. Yes. He's been on Broadway as well.
Oh, yes, right. Several times.
Real quick on this. But your organization also promotes not just those who are on stage, but those are, I mean, we know here at Public Television, if we're not for the talented team behind the scenes, our creative people, the producers, the camera people, the audio people who make this all happen, there are lots of careers behind the scenes.
We just created a site called careers.broadway.
Careers.broadway. Check it out. Go ahead.
There are 88 careers on Broadway. 88.
Other than being on stage?
Other than being on, they're off-stage careers. You look in the back of a playbill and you'll see all of those careers listed. And our mission is to introduce those. We want we want diversity in every way of what the country looks like, working on our stages and behind our stages. And we work hard to do that.
Real quick before I let you go, our friends at United told us about you folks. You have to work hard, as we do it in public television, for corporate underwriting. We don't call it sponsorship. Do you have to work hard at that?
We do. I mean, because so many of the things we do, like right now, our Broadway Bridges program, our goal is to send 70,000 high school students to see a Broadway show every year for $10.
Not cheap.
I have to raise the money to pay for the rest of that, right?
To make it cheap, it's not cheap.
It's not cheap, that's right. But fortunately, there are great partners out there.
Charlotte St. Martin, president of the Broadway League, a great organization helping a lot of folks and keeping the arts alive. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Great to be here.
Come back anytime.
Thank you.
I'm Steve Adubato. This is One on One. This is the WNET studio, the Tisch WNET studio. Catch you next.